Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about conservation of momentum and we will discuss about the law of conservation of momentum. What is momentum? Momentum of a body is defined to be the product of its mass and velocity. That is, if m is the mass of an object and its velocity is v, then the product of the mass and velocity that will give you the momentum p of an object. This velocity, it is a vector quantity. So, I am putting one vector sign over v. Okay. And this momentum of an object, that is also a vector quantity. So, momentum vector p is equal to m into vector v. That is momentum of an object is the product of its mass and the velocity. Now, consider an example of a bullet fired from a gun. When it is fired, the bullet moves forward, no? That is, the gun exerts a force on the bullet. Let the force on the bullet by the gun be vector F. So, vector F is the force on the bullet by the gun. The bullet moves forward. Why? Because the gun exerted some force on the bullet. So, let vector F be the force on the bullet by the gun. Okay, then what will be the force on the gun by the bullet? According to Newton's third law of motion, to every action, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Force always occur in pairs. Force on a body A by B is equal to the force on B by A. And the force on A by B and the force on B by A act at the same instant. That is what Newton's third law of motion says. So, if vector F is the force on the bullet by the gun, then minus vector F will be the force on the gun by the bullet. This negative sign shows that they are opposite in direction. Both the forces are opposite in direction. Both the forces act at the same instant. That is the two forces. One is the force on the bullet by the gun and the other is the force on the gun by the bullet. These two forces act for a common time interval delta t. That is, both the forces act at the same instant. So, let that instant be delta t. Now, according to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force and takes place in the direction in which the force acts. That is, vector F, that is a force, it is proportional to delta P by delta T. So, this is the change in momentum and this is the time interval. Okay, that duration of time in which that momentum change takes place, in which the force acts on that object. Okay, which makes some change in momentum for that object. So, according to Newton's second law of motion, this F is actually proportional to, okay, I am taking only the magnitude. This F is actually proportional to delta P by delta T. That is the rate of change in momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force. So, F is proportional to delta P by delta T. And while we are removing this proportionality sign and writing one equal sign here, we should write one proportionality constant. So, I am writing that proportionality constant as K. So, we can write it as F is equal to some K into delta P divided by delta T. Okay. Now, for simplicity, I am taking this K as 1. So, when this K is equal to 1, the force becomes what? 1 into delta P by delta T, that is F is equal to delta P divided by delta T. Okay, from this expression, we can write what? F into delta T is equal to delta P. Right, so from this expression, we can write F into delta T is equal to delta P. That is, according to Newton's second law of motion, F into delta T is the change in momentum of the bullet. That is, if I am taking, that is from Newton's second law of motion, we got F into delta T is equal to delta P. So, for example, if we consider the case of the bullet, vector F is a force acting on the bullet which makes some change in its momentum. Okay, if there is some change in its momentum, then this force is responsible for that change in momentum of the bullet. So, the change in momentum of the bullet can be written as what? Vector F into delta T. Okay, so vector F into delta T is the change in momentum of the bullet. Now, what about the change in momentum of the gun? Change in momentum of the gun will be minus vector F into delta T, because minus vector F is the force acting on the gun by the bullet. So, this is the force which is responsible for the change in its momentum. If there is some change in its momentum, then this force is actually responsible for that. So, change in momentum of the gun can be written as minus vector F into delta T. Because from Newton's second law of motion, we got F into delta T is equal to delta P. The delta P is the change in momentum. So, for the bullet, its change in momentum can be written as vector F into delta T. And for the gun, its change in momentum can be written as minus vector F into delta T. Okay, change in momentum means what actually? Final momentum minus initial momentum, no? So, change in momentum of an object is actually equal to final momentum of the object minus initial momentum of the object. Okay, change in momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Initially, both the gun and the bullet are at rest. Rest means their initial velocities are 0. Okay, initially both the gun and the bullet were in a state of rest. In a state of rest means their initial velocities are 0. Okay, so we can write initial velocity of the bullet is equal to 0. Similarly, initial velocity of the gun is equal to 0. Now, let mg be the mass of the gun and let m suffix b be the mass of the bullet. So, initial momentum of the bullet will be what? Initial momentum of the bullet. Initial momentum of the bullet will be what? Momentum is equal to mass into velocity, no? Its initial velocity is 0. Then mass is mb. So, initial momentum of the bullet means initial mass, the mass mb into the velocity 0. mb into 0 will give you 0. So, initial momentum of the bullet is 0 units. Okay. Similarly, what about the initial momentum of the gun? The gun is also initially at a state, in a state of rest. Its initial velocity is 0. So, initial momentum of the gun, that is the mass of the gun into initial velocity, because momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So, initial momentum of the gun will be the mass of the gun mg into its initial velocity 0. mg into 0 will give you 0. Okay, so initial momentum of the bullet equal to 0. Initial momentum of the gun is also equal to 0. Alright, so what about the total initial momentum of the system? System means I am considering both the bullet and the gun together as a system. So, what about the total initial momentum of the system? Total initial momentum of the system. System means both the gun and the bullet. Okay, I am considering this gun and the bullet as a system, as a common system. So, what about the total initial momentum of the system? Total initial momentum of the system means initial momentum of the bullet plus initial momentum of the gun. That is 0 plus 0, that is 0. 0 plus 0 again 0, no? So, initial momentum of the system of this bullet and the gun is equal to 0. Now, let vector P suffix B be the final momentum of the bullet. Let it be the final momentum of the bullet. Okay, vector PB is the final momentum of the bullet, and let that is momentum of the bullet after firing. Okay, final momentum of the bullet means momentum of the bullet after firing. Now, let vector PG, P suffix G, let vector PG be the final momentum of the gun. So, vector PB is the final momentum of the bullet and vector PG is the final momentum of the gun. Okay, why? The final momentum of the gun, that is actually called as a recoil momentum of the gun. This vector PG, this is actually called as the recoil momentum of the gun. Okay, recoil momentum of the gun. Why is it called recoil momentum? Because after firing the gun rebounds back. Okay, after firing the gun rebounds back, no? That is recoils back, no? So the momentum is called recoil momentum. That's all. Okay, so vector PB is the final momentum of the bullet and vector PG is the recoil momentum of the gun. So change in momentum of the bullet is what? Change in momentum of the bullet. What about the change in momentum of the bullet? Change in momentum of the bullet means final momentum of the bullet minus initial momentum of the bullet. Final momentum of the bullet is vector PB minus initial momentum was what? 0. So this will be equal to vector PB. So change in momentum of the bullet is vector PB. Okay, now what about change in momentum of the gun? Change in momentum of the gun is equal to final momentum. That is the recoil momentum of the gun, vector PG minus initial momentum of the gun 0, which is equal to vector PG. So vector PG is the change in momentum of the gun. Okay, so actually we got the momentum of the change in momentum from Newton's second law of motion. We got the change in momentum of the bullet as vector F into delta T, and from Newton's second law of motion we got the change in momentum of the gun as minus vector F into delta T. Okay, so we can write vector F into delta T is equal to what? Vector PB. Okay, and we can write minus vector F into delta T is equal to what? Vector P suffix G. Alright. Now you see, here we got vector F into delta T is equal to vector PB and we got minus vector F into delta T is equal to vector PG. So what is this vector? In this minus vector F into delta T, this vector F into delta T can be written as what? Vector PB, no? So we can write it as minus vector PB is equal to vector PG. Now if I am taking this minus vector PB to this side of the equation, that becomes plus. So we can write it as vector PB plus vector PG is equal to 0. Alright, so we are getting one expression like vector PB plus vector PG equal to 0. That is the total momentum of the system, that is gun plus bullet, is equal to, that is total final momentum of the system, that is system means the gun plus bullet equal to 0. Alright, or the total change in momentum of that system is equal to 0. Total change in momentum of that system equal to 0 means there is no change in its, momentum. That is not change in its momentum means its initial momentum and final momentum both are the same. Total momentum of the system, that is bullet plus gun before firing, and total momentum of the system, that is we got the total momentum of the system before firing was what? Initial total momentum 0 plus 0 equal to 0 we got, no? Similarly here we got the vector PB final momentum and vector PG recoil momentum of the gun. So we got vector PB plus vector PG equal to 0. That means the total final momentum of the system of this bullet and the gun is equal to 0. So total initial momentum and total final momentum both are 0. That means total momentum of the system of bullet and the gun before firing and total momentum of the system after firing both are the same. So we can say that the total momentum of the system of bullet and the gun is conserved. Okay. Now consider an isolated system, that is a system with no external force. For example, just imagine this as a system of many particles. Okay, no external force acts on it, but there can be forces acting on the particles in the system. So this particle may apply a force on this particle. Okay, the first particle, I am taking this as a first particle and this as a second particle. I am just taking. That's all. So this particle may apply some force on this particle. There is no external force act on the system, but there can be forces acting on the particles in the system. So this particle may apply some force on this particle, and due to that force exerted on this particle, there will be some change in its momentum. Right. If the particle exerts a force vector F on the second particle, for a common time delta t, then the change in momentum of this particle will be what? Vector f into the change in momentum of the second particle will be vector f into delta t. Okay, and the force due to 1 on 2 that acts along this direction. Right. Now, due to the force exerted by 1 on the particle 2, there will be a force on 1 due to 2. According to Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so the same force acts, same force vector f, the same force, the magnitude of that force will be the same. Okay, same force means the same magnitude of that force acts on the particle 1 due to the particle 2 for the same, common time delta t, but this will be in the opposite direction, that is along this direction. Okay, and due to that force exerted on the particle 1, there will be some change in its momentum too. So what about the change in momentum of the particle? The change in momentum of the particle will be minus vector f into delta t, because that force acts in the opposite direction of this vector f. So the force acts on this, the change in momentum of this particle 1 will be equal to minus vector f into delta t. Alright. Now, we know that there is an equivalent, that is here, according to Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so the change in momentum of the particle 1 is minus vector f into delta t. Why this negative sign? Because this force is in the opposite direction to this force. Okay, so you see the change in momentum of the two particles in the system. One is vector f into delta t, another one is minus vector f into delta t. So when we consider this system as a whole, when we consider this as a system, the change in momentum or the momentum changes cancel in pairs. Okay, that is change in momentum cancels means what? There is no change in momentum. That is initial momentum of the system and the final momentum of the system are the same. That is the total momentum of the system is conserved. Okay, here no external force acts on the system, but there can be forces acting on the particles in the system. Then due to that forces, let vector f into delta t be the force on this, the change in momentum of this particle, and minus vector f into delta t be the change in momentum of this particle. So when we consider this all system, the change in momentum cancels in pairs now. That is, one is vector f into delta t, another one is minus vector f into delta t. Okay, that is the total momentum of the system is conserved. Thus, in an isolated system means no external force acts on the system, the mutual forces between pairs of particles in the system can cause momentum change in the individual particles. But since the mutual forces for each pair are equal and opposite, the momentum changes cancel in pairs and the total momentum remains unchanged. This fact is known as the law of conservation of momentum. Okay, this fact is known as the law of conservation of momentum. Okay, law of conservation of momentum. That is, according to the law of conservation of momentum, the total momentum of an isolated system of interacting particles is conserved. An important application or important example, an important example of the application of this law of conservation of momentum is the collision of two bodies. Consider two bodies, one is A, another one is B. Let the initial momentum of A be vector PA and let the initial momentum of this object or this body B be vector PB. Okay, suppose these bodies are colliding. Okay, this will be moving with some velocity, this will be moving with some velocity in some direction. Okay, we are not talking about that direction. It can be, both can be moving towards each other, or both can be moving in the forward direction. This can have more, this can have more speed than this, and collision can happen. Okay, we are not talking about all those situations. We are just taking two bodies, one is A, another one is B. Its initial momentum is vector PA and its initial momentum is vector PB. Suppose these two bodies are colliding, and after collision they are getting apart. So after collision their velocities do change and hence momentum, because momentum, it is a product of mass and velocity. So if there is some change in velocity, obviously there will be some change in its momentum. Okay, so let vector PA dash be the final momentum of this body A. That is, final momentum means before, initial momentum means before the collision, final momentum means momentum after the collision. Okay, and let vector PB dash be the final momentum of this body B. That is the momentum of the body B after the collision. That is vector PB dash. Alright, then from second law of motion, we have the change in momentum. From second law of motion, we have the change in momentum is equal to what? Vector F into delta T. Okay, from second law of motion, we have change in momentum is equal to vector F into delta T. So, during collision, both the bodies apply forces each other, no? So, let vector FAB be the force on A. Okay, vector FAB is the force on A due to the body B. So, this vector FAB acts in this direction. Vector FAB is the force on the body A due to the body B. Okay, and let vector FBA be the force on B due to A. So, force on B due to A means that force acts on this direction. Okay, let this body A exert some force on the body B, so that can that can act in this direction. So, due to this action, there will be some, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, no? So, there will be some force acting on A too due to the body B. So, let that force on A due to the body B be vector FAB, and there will be some force vector FBA in the opposite direction. Okay, then both the forces, let both the forces act for the same time delta T, because according to Newton's third law of motion, both the forces act for the same instant. So, for the time delta T. So, due to the force vector FAB, there will be some change in momentum for the body A, no? Okay, that is, you just, if you are considering, no, you just imagine both the bodies are moving along this direction. Okay, so the body, you just imagine this body B has more speed than this body A. So, B can go and hit the body A. B can collide with the body A. So, it will exert some force on A. So, that force is acting along this direction. That is, vector FAB is the force on A due to the body B. And according to Newton's third law of motion, there will be some force on B due to A that will be in the opposite direction. Okay, now due to the force vector FAB, there will be some change in momentum for the body A, no? Okay, because when force acts on an object, its velocity changes. When there is a change in velocity, there will be some change in its momentum. So, change in momentum of the body A will be what? Change in momentum can be written as what? Vector F into delta T. So, the force responsible for the change in momentum of this body A is what? This force is acting on A, no? That is responsible for its change in momentum. So, that force is vector FAB. Then change in momentum means into delta T is equal to. So, change in momentum of the body A is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum means the momentum of the body after the collision minus momentum of the body before the collision. So, vector PA dash minus vector PA is the change in momentum of the body A. So, I am taking this as equation number 1. Alright, now, and due to this force vector FBA, that is a force on B due to A, there will be some change in its momentum. That is, there will be some change in the momentum of B, no? Okay, because when some force acts on B, there will be some change in its velocity. When there is some change in its velocity, there will be some change in its momentum. Alright, so this is the force. Vector FBA is the force which is responsible for the change in momentum of this body B. Alright, so its change in momentum. Change in momentum of the body B can be written as what? Vector FBA into delta T, which is equal to the final momentum of the body B minus initial momentum. That is vector PB dash minus vector PB. I am taking this as equation number 2. Okay, that is, here delta T is the common interval of time for the for the both forces vector FAB and vector FBA. That is, delta T is the time for which the two bodies are in contact actually. Okay, now what is the statement of Newton's third law of motion? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Right, that is the statement of Newton's third law of motion. So these two forces, vector FAB and vector FBA, are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Right, so we can express that in like this, no? Vector FAB, that will be equal to minus vector FBA. This minus sign shows that both these forces are in opposite directions as shown here. One force is along this direction, another one force is along this direction. Both forces are having the same magnitude, but this negative sign shows that they are in the opposite directions. Okay, or we can write what vector FBA is equal to minus vector FAB. Okay, neither way you can write. So this vector FBA can be written as minus vector FAB, and I am taking this as equation number 3. So we got these three equations. This one was the equation number 1 and this one was the equation number 2 and equation number 3. Okay, now what I am going to do is I am going to apply this equation number 3 in equation number 2. So what happens from equation number 3? A vector FBA is equal to what? Minus vector FAB. So I am going to replace this vector FBA in equation number 2 with this minus vector FAB. Okay, so this equation number 2 becomes what? Minus vector FAB, because vector FBA can be written as minus vector FAB into delta T is equal to what? Vector PB dash minus vector PB. Okay, so we can write minus vector FAB into delta T is equal to vector PB dash minus vector PB. Okay, now if I am taking this minus sign to this side, this becomes what? Vector FAB into delta T is equal to minus of vector PB dash minus vector PB. Alright, I am taking this as equation number 4. Okay, now by comparing this equation number 1 and equation number 4, you just compare these two equations, equation number 4 and equation number 1. Vector FAB into delta T is equal to this. Here vector FAB into delta T is equal to this. So left hand sides of both the equations are the same. Okay, so we can equate their right hand sides too now. Alright, so we can write vector PA dash minus vector PA is equal to minus of vector PB dash minus vector PB. Alright, so this becomes what? Vector PA dash is here. This becomes minus vector PB dash, and I am taking this to this side of the equation, so that that becomes plus vector PB dash equal to minus into minus plus vector PB is here. Then I am taking this minus vector PA to this side. So that becomes what? Plus vector PA. So we can write vector PA, then minus into minus plus vector PB. And I am taking this as equation number 5. Okay, so in this expression, that is vector PA dash plus vector PB dash is equal to vector PA plus vector PB. I am taking this as equation number 5. So vector PA dash is a final momentum of A. Vector PB dash is a final momentum of B. Then vector PA is the initial momentum of A. Vector PB is the initial momentum of B. So vector PA plus vector PB means total initial momentum of the system of two bodies A and B. Vector PA dash plus vector PB dash means what? Total final momentum of the system of two bodies A and B. Okay, so what does it mean? The total final momentum of the system of two bodies is equal to total final momentum of the system of two bodies. That is, the total final momentum of the isolated system equals its initial momentum. So, in this video, we have discussed about a very important law, that is law of conservation of momentum. According to law of conservation of momentum, the total momentum of an isolated system of interacting particles is conserved. I hope you understood this, the all concepts that we have discussed in this video. Thank you.